Today's video is just a quick rundown and review on my hunting rifle, which happens to be a Sauer XT 100. I've got the polymer stock and Cerakoted action model, and I love it. I think it's an absolute brilliant rifle. This is going to be a quick look and my thoughts and why I chose it over the most popular rifle in New Zealand, which would arguably be a Tikka or Tikka, whatever you call them. They're basically the same price, and when I bought them I had one in each hand and went through the features, and basically I chose this over the Tikka and I've never looked back. Nothing wrong with Tikkas obviously, but I think my Sauer is just outperforming my mate's Tikkas. I absolutely love it. It's chambered in 308, and the basic specs on them is they weigh about 3 kilos, which is just under 7 pounds. The barrel is 22 inches long with a twist rate of 1 in 12. The magazine is a double stack, and it's 5 plus 1, so it's 5 in here plus 1 in there. And the trigger is adjustable from 2.2 pounds to 4.4 pounds, and even I had mine wound down to the lowest setting and it was broke beautifully. It was like literally like breaking glass. But they have had a bit of a recall issue on these, and mine was one of them. And it was the Cerakoting on the barrel in action. All of a sudden would just fall off if it touched anything. And I had this on the back of my side by side, tied down with little straps that secure it. And when I undid to go and shoot a goat, there was 2 little lines over the barrel, and the Cerakote just rubbed clean off. And so I took it back to the shop, and the shop said, yep, that happens all the time. And they said, what colour you want it? We'll send it away and get it re-Cerakoted for you, the whole gun. I was like, oh, cool as. And I regret it now. I just said, oh, same again, thanks, just silver or grey or whatever colour you call it. So I sent it away and got done. And I regret not saying satin or gloss black, just to make it a little bit different, make it stand out. But it's done now. And a bit of a funny story with it is when I got it back, I took it back to the range, so I had to re-sight it in because you'll take the scope, everything off, just basically send away a barreled action. And when I got it back, they reassembled it wrong, and I drove an hour to the range, put my first round in the tube and lined it up and pulled the trigger. Nothing. Trigger was lock solid, and it never occurred to me to give it a dry fire before I left my house and drove an hour. So I took it back to the shop, showed them, they were puzzled, so they sent it back to the guys that pulled it apart, and yeah, they assembled it wrong. Just a very simple mistake. And they said, oh, do you want us to just fix it and it'll be pretty good? And I was like, no. We've been to spring. Well, they told me they'd been to spring or a rod or something silly in there. So I said, replace it, brand new. So I did that. Took another month to get it back, no problem. But since it's come back, the trigger is even better, and I would be surprised if it's a pound. It is just sweet as butter. It you just look at it and it just, yeah. But don't get me wrong, it's safe as. Like I've cocked it and clamped it on the ground. It doesn't release the sear. Is solid. It is just beautiful to shoot with. And I've got a couple of guns with modified triggers and things in them, and this would by far be the nicest trigger I own, and it's standard. So win for me. Okay, a bit more about it. Clearly it's obviously safe and dry, and there's nothing in there. The gun itself is beautiful. I love it. I've got a muzzle brake on the end, but it's just that's just for safety really, as in it sits in the safe with the muzzle brake on there, because I have one laying around with the same thread, which is 14 by 1. Normally, I've never shoot it without it because it's so loud. I run a DPT suppressor, and it is very manageable. I was at the range this morning and didn't use earmuffs. Didn't have to worry about it, even though we're in a it's 10 over, so you're in a semi-enclosed environment. You still don't need earmuffs. It doesn't hurt, but yeah, it takes the sting out of it. The safety on it, it's a 3-position safety. So I'll insert the bolt. And close the bolt. Obviously forward fire and locks back. Again, middle position, you safe, and you can work the action, or right back and the action is solid. So pretty cool. And while we've got the bolt in the gun, it is the most smooth, buttery silk bolt I have ever used in a gun, especially at this price point anyway. It is just butter smooth. You know, it makes a Tikka look like a Hauer compared to a Tikka. So, but yeah, it's got a 3-leg bolt in it, so it really, yeah, it takes all the play out of it. There's none of that rattling around. Like you got a Hauer, you know what I mean. Good gun, don't get me wrong. And the mag, yeah, just falls into place, flush fit. The button is buried so you can't bump it and knock it out, and when you do press it, it just falls straight out. It is the nicest, and the brake on the trigger is just crisp. So like I say, I was at the range this morning. Only other modifications I've done to it is clearly I've put a carbon fibre bipod on it, and a little bit longer than normal. It's not a 3 to 9, I think it's a 6 to 12. And it is a little bit tall, but I have used it in some of the terrain I've hunted in it. A bigger bipod doesn't hurt, but you get a little bit of stability issues. It's got a recoil pad on the back, not bad. The balance, it's a little bit front heavy, but you got 22 inches of metal at the front over a polymer stock, so that's why. And I've got a set of 30mm Boris rings on it, and at the moment it's got a Vector Optics Marksman, which is a 5 to 25 by 50, and this thing shoots lights out. I do want to upgrade the scope because I want to get into dialing up and for longer range stuff, but this scope is beautiful to use and look through, but dialing up, not a chance. It's like turning a sponge. There's just no tactileness through the clicks, so if you're trying to pick an animal in a hurry, there's no click click click, it's just a so yeah, I've got this one to me is a set and forget, and then I just use the holdovers. And currently my best shot is 389 meters, and for some of you that's nothing. To me, I'm stoked. That was the dirty old 308, and I can't remember if I home loaded loads or the factory loads. But yeah, so as for a shooter, it's a great shooter. Like I went down to the range this morning because I was just pressed out a new load, and I might be going into the bush next week for a couple of days, and I wanted to make something good. Ammunition in New Zealand now, the cheapest soft point ammunition you can buy for 308 that I've found is $60 a box at the moment, of 20, and that's the cheap stuff. And surprisingly enough, I've tried a lot of ammo through this and some very high-end stuff, and the best things I can find is Fiocchi Perfecta, which is basically the cheapest stuff you can buy, and like I'm doing 1/2-inch groups at 100 with that stuff. It's just awesome. What I've just developed today, as I took out and tried, is 46 grains of 2208 ADI and a 150 ballistic tip Hornady SST, and yeah, fantastic. Like I didn't do much filming. I tried to film it at the range, but it was absolutely buckling down. So I think I just got a couple of shots on camera, and yeah, it was under an inch at 100. First before I put in there, I pulled one and I know it was me, and then 300 an inch, I think was it 4, I did 4, and then I did 3 more at the end of the day. Right, I know I pulled another one, so I did 2.5 an inch and one just a bit bigger, and I'll show you that. And then I just pumped out to a 200, put 5 down range, and it's an average group. I think it's just over 2 inches, but you know, it was me. I was the weak link in the scenario, because I just had an energy drink. I was trying to relax and everything was fine, but if you know, you know. You're laying there and your heart's beating, it's like boom, boom, boom. I was like, ah, oh, damn it, and I couldn't calm down. So at 200 meters I was doing like 2.5 inches, 2 to 2.5 inch, 5-shot group. And the drop, because I line this in at about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches high at 100, it was 2.5 inches low at 200. So easy to, that's not hard to remember. And yeah, the gun is just beautiful. I couldn't recommend it enough. I almost bought another one in 223 because I've got a really nice Hauer in an MDT chassis and things like that, and it's performing very averagely, to be honest. So I'm thinking about moving it on. It's actually back at the shop at the moment, because nor me or any of my mates can make this thing shoot well. I'm not trying to run it down, but it's just a mind boggle, and yeah. So I might get another XT100 in 223, because you can get just beautiful chassis for them, because I love chassis rifles. And if I can get that to perform like I can get this to perform, man, you just never get a smile off my face. There's not a whole lot to it. That's an honest review. I'll put the footage of me shooting the goat. I think the goat, I didn't get the one at 400. I got one at 330 or 340 meters, and that was just a lucky guess for a holdover. And I think I shot it in the head at just 330 meters. It's average quality. The dude filmed it for me through a potato, so you can pretty clearly make it out. It just sacked it. And I can't remember if I've got the footage of the one that's further back. But yeah, so absolutely love it, and will not be getting rid of this gun ever, I don't think. It's just such a good shooter, and I'm just about to pump out a heap more of these loads exactly the same, and go for a deer shoot and goat cull, I think, hopefully next week. We'll see how it goes. That's basically all I've got to say. Thanks for your time, and yeah, love it.
That was a hit.